it's true. Like, obviously, I can't imagine that by the time he opened up HKC, that, because I'm pretty sure everybody knew that he was fired for literally a class 4 felony for assaulting a teacher, right? It's literally in the statutes of Illinois law. So my question is, why didn't he even post anything? He shared, okay, here's the thing. Why okay, yes, why would he consider the fact that posting because it wasn't his first post on Facebook? That would make a little more sense if his first post on Facebook ever was HKC now open. Okay? That makes sense. Like, of course, there are people who don't understand Facebook. Okay? That would make more sense. Like, people are not savvy. He's older. But opening up a business is a big endeavor, especially if you have a reputation you may need to tidy up, right? For all of the business, let's say the three different businesses I've had, and even the different shops, I was supposed to say, hey, coming soon, coming blah, 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 right? Not anything sophisticated, just picture, this wasn't his first post on Facebook. Why would he consider posting why would he rank in order of importance? I would think that just you ask the average person, what would you say is more important to tell people? That your business that your business is opening or a box of free donuts from DukinDonuts.com. It would make more sense. It would make more sense if he had posted that as his first post. But he thought it was more important to share what was almost for not Dunkin' Donuts. It didn't say DunkinDonuts.com. It was Dukin/Donuts.com. Why would, and this wasn't his first business either. And he was an economics major. He'd run, why would he consider that to be a higher degree of importance than his business opening soon? And then that's like, yeah, and we always go back to I'm trying to, this would be like, because obviously we want, when you uncover, it's always groups, right? Uncovering ancient civilizations, right? But these are people who had empire. Why is Hitler important, right? Why? But his motive, even his motivations from, growing up his motivations, although they are evil, right? And clearly, or horrific catastrophe on a grand humanitarian scale, right? But he grew up hard. He served in World War I. He was in prison, and I'm sure he dealt with propaganda. So those things make sense. And he was one, and he built an empire, and he built an empire with millions of soldiers and mass slaughter. That's the thing. We're not all these people that they try to analyze, right? Albert, like you were saying, Albert Einstein, right? Or the Torah, or the Gemara, or Alexander the Great, or ancient civilizations, or Karl Marx, or Mark Zuckerberg, or anybody like that. Not only do the motivations kind of make sense, but also these were not people that the only questionable thing about them was, why is this person the color of the shade of their skin, the hat that this is okay, color of the shade of their skin matters for Martin Luther King, right? But not for a camp cook. Why is this seemingly just one of the most forgettable characters of all time? There are women that I've been intimate with that I don't even remember, either don't remember their name. There are teachers I don't remember their names. There's geometry I don't know, but I remember, like, math and science and all of these things, and I have to double check people's phone numbers and birthdays and like I asked my wife the other day, just like, she's like, oh, make conversation kind of as a joke. I'm like, what's your favorite color? I vividly remember Walter smiling and laughing as he chopped ribs with a gigantic meat cleaver. Why? Why would that be important? There's even for food, right? Just simple. There's restaurants, right? A few of them I've been going to for 30 plus years, right? I've seen their kids grow, whatever. I don't think about what I ask how they're doing, whatever. I don't go, what youth organization was this person a part of in the 70s? And not just that, why? I don't go to Pizza by Napoli's, one of my favorite great pizza place in Phoenix. I don't go. I've known them for so long. I've been there a lot, and I had many interactions with them. I don't know. I never researched heavily what. I've never once considered even asking or researching and spending hours and hours. What lines did you have in a specific play in a fairly obscure college in the 70s? So that's what makes him. I don't know. Like, okay, for instance, just on hand, right? The Odyssey, one of the most famous books of all time by Homer, right? What do we try to figure out? Is it metaphorical, whatever? What was he thinking? Was this based off context and mythology and all that? But nobody has ever wondered, how did like you were saying, if he had misspelled one tiny letter, why that was important. Or if somebody said to Homer and wrote, he was a great author, right? We don't examine that for hidden details. So, but this again is one of the one of the most, important pieces of literature in humankind. Why? Let's say the Beatles. Even the Beatles, one of the biggest bands in the world that changed, they changed, you could argue they, obviously make a case, changed humanity, but it wasn't, let's say Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. People say, oh, it's, about LSD. And then he's like, no, it's a drawing. People don't say, a drawing in the letter, like by Paul McCartney or John Lennon's kid, whatever it was. That's what they say. They don't say, why was the tiny type font slightly off? They don't look Paul and Heather McCartney, John Lennon and Yoko Ono, right? Again, one of the most famous marriages of all time, right? We look at that, we can look at that, but we don't build an entire life and analyze a small advertisement next to their wedding announcement 60 years later. And this was John Lennon. This wasn't a guy who served pancakes and was obsessed with trays. That's what doesn't make any sense. What is going on? Like, these are just, it doesn't end. I'm talking about the most important things of all time. It doesn't even, let's say, mythological figures, right? Let's say the most famous historical figure of all time is probably Jesus Christ. Everybody has, we're talking billions of people throughout, wars have been waged and things like that. So that's, the Shroud of Turin, whatever, the imagery, right? They don't go, why they say, wow, it's an image of him. They don't go, how does his slight, the way his face is looking, how it brings up the arrogance that he has innately that is contextual with his perfect attendance, being a Ben Torah, and then asking about napkins but serving crumpled nachos. Like he'd water into wine, right? Fine, whether it's a metaphor, he was able to do that miracle, right? But why is that less significant than somebody saying, all I asked Walter was, are there any grilled onions? That's all. I didn't say, give me grilled onions. I said, are there any grilled onions available? Not for no context. It was during a barbecue. He could have said, no, that's not something we're offering, or just no. He could have just said no. He said, we don't have any caviar either. That's like saying, somebody asking again, let's say, Gandhi, right? Gandhi, can I have a piece of bread? And instead of, he could have said, no, like I'm on a hunger fast to protest it, whatever. It's very likely that Gandhi didn't say, and it wasn't, we don't have any Grey Poupon. It wasn't something like that. It was caviar. Like, I was asking for something so preposterous. It would be like me, give this, hey, I'm cold. Can I borrow? Can I, please clothe me? It would be like somebody who's homeless, saying, hey, do you have any winter clothes or underwear? And the person say, instead of saying, oh, we don't have any socks, we're waiting on the donations, they would say, we don't have any Louis Vuitton either. It just doesn't make any sense. Why didn't he just say no? Or we just have ketchup and mustard and regular onions. He didn't even have to be necessarily friendly, but the fact that he made it seem like I was asking for the most precious, one of the most expensive, like if I went to your house and I'm like, hey, do you have any can you pass the pepper? And you're like, we don't have any saffron either. Which is like $5,000 an ounce. These things don't make any sense. Or, hey, I see you have some concrete slabs. Am I able to have those? And it's like, we don't have any gigantic rubies either. Each thing, why would he go immediately to, I didn't ask him rudely. I just said, hey, are there any grilled onions available? Or can I, it wasn't, I wasn't being rude. I wasn't trying to even make a joke. I just wanted to know. He was grilling. He could have said, hey, give me a few, and if you're still interested, I'll throw, or even just, no, that's not on the agenda today. I'm making food or I don't have time. He made it seem like I asked the most preposterous question in the world. What? Why? It would be like, somebody who's dying of thirst, be like, can I have a sip of your water? And they would say, I don't have any 1700s whiskey either. Like, what is going on? Why would he be so arrogant? And this isn't the king. He's not like he's not arrogant camp cook, thinks he's a king, wasting his time on useless things. Like, sure, you could, they would have kings and stuff. If you even looked at them wrong, they would kill you or ask them for something. But like, what? He was just grilling some frozen patties. It was a barbecue. I asked him for grill. It was in the middle of the night, like room service. Why didn't he just say no? Why? Why did he do that? And then he didn't just say that, but he laughed like it was the biggest joke in the world.